time for Rasi to create space.
If they do find that timing, it's probably going to snowball from then onwards, right? Because, well, actually, I say that, but there's a good possibility that it doesn't. Because keep in mind, checking bushes used to be something very easy for most people to do. But here in Dangerous Grass, there's just so much of it, so much area that you have to cover. This might slow down the process of rotations if you start to feel cautious.
And I am honestly a little bit concerned about whether or not the Matilda will be able to open up those bushes safely, but that is the name of the game right here. Danger lurks around every corner as bushes overgrow the land of Dawn. Untitled and TODAK now face one another in their final game of the series to find out who will take home the victory.
TODAK on the blue side, starting on their orange buff. Untitled starting on their orange buff on the red side. So no early steals here coming in from Zayed. And honestly, I thought that would have been a good choice to do so because Rasi ends up showing his face down on the bottom side of the map. So this is probably why. They realize that their level 1 isn't as strong, and there's a lot less control because Dreams is playing the Matilda rather than somebody with Concussive Blast.
You can already see Zyme helping to leash the purple buff to make sure that Rasi isn't able to come in time to steal the second one as well, since Zayed had to use the retry on the first. For TODAK playing it safe, they know that it'd be too dangerous for them to try and open up the map themselves, so they're keeping to their hull.
They continue to stay on their side of the map, making sure that the battle lines are clear. TODAK looking to aggress. They just stick their foot over the border ever so slightly, right? Just to see how Untitled is going to react to them at the end of the day. As we move down towards the bottom side of the map, Stoa, if he sees anybody get pushed out, if he has Rasi by his side, they can almost guarantee some form of chunk damage. And here we go. There's that chunk damage I was talking about.
That is a big ouch right there. This duo, as you pointed out, going to be able to do a lot of poke damage as long as they are able to find the right setup. TODAK, though, still leaning towards the bottom side. First turtle still going to be a little bit before it spawns, so it depends on teams whether they want to start making things happen or not.
Yep. Now, Zayed, he's hit level 4. Dreams is not level 4 yet. Fondir also not level 4 too, but is not getting any help at all to push out this lane.
Min gonna be the first one on the turtle. Zayed and Dreams are nearby. Fondir coming by as well. Storm comes to join from the mid lane. It's gonna be a 50-50. Keemin secures it with a heavy spin and instantly backs off. Lolil comes in with the Zaman Force. Wants to kill. One hit away. Zayed secures first blood on this guy, and Keemin falls as well. The Raging Sandstorm is a bit too late. TODAK with the win there.
2-for-1 in favor of TODAK. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted to see. And the Patriots are happy for now, but we saw what happened in game number 2. A single mistake could cost them absolutely everything, and they don't want to fall the victim to Untitled. At this point of time, with the rotations being orange all the way up to purple, with the help of Unleash, Zayed has been having a good time farming up. But we do need to see him get a little bit aggressive, right? The big thing about tank junglers is eventually, when you have enough base stats to start walking, well, I say walking, but truly marching into enemy territory to steal away camps.
Thing is, both sides are tanks. Oh, not this guy in trouble! Fondir with the 1v1 victory in the EXP lane.
Nicely played by Fondir. Big ult down, but they don't have to worry. Storm gets out of another tight fight as Untitled. The lanes are crashing.
Lolil dodges the Raging Sandstorm. He's actually taking the 1v2, dashes into the tower. Not able to finish off Kaized, but Zayed is here to finish the job. Dreams gets the last hit. Rasi not able to protect his gold lane.
They gotta... Oh wait, they're not done yet.
Now he might not be able to protect himself.
No.
It's a 4v1 under the tower. Stone is here. TODAK takes that as their signal to retreat, but Stone with the flicker forward pulls Zayed back.
Unfortunate and unlucky. Even now has to slowly back away. Zyme does some decent damage at this stage of the game until you start getting Radiant Armors. And even before then, the 50-50 on choice of defensive options. As Siska goes back to the bottom side, again, we're not seeing a lot of pressure from our CCs, right?
Yeah, not so much compared to in the past. Seems like Lapu might be a better matchup than I may have initially gave it credit for. Now though, Untitled with control over the turtle pit once again.
Well, they're gonna dance around it for just a little bit. Waves, not exactly in the best position, but that's why they're clearing it out. And here we go, the engagement.
Circling Eagle connects with Keemin. Turtle has to be reset, but TODAK not going to allow that to happen. They're taking control of it. Rasi trying to forge forward, but he's not able to create the space. Has to use the Raging Sandstorm and Flicker just to get away.
He manages, just manages it. As long as he's alive, he's still fine. And he's also got his roamer nearby just in case they want to attempt for a top tier 1 dive. But this pressure, this continuous push and pull, right? As much as Fondir is caught back up to Siska, Siska has been making sure that this wave demands Fondir's attention.
The only thing you can do if you're not in a winning position as the EXP lane, we can see that Siska's definitely grown quite a lot since his first appearance in MPL, able to use that wave manipulation to at least even out the odds, even in a losing situation.
Now, next fight might just break out right here, right now. But the oh wait, hold on. Rasi opening up the map preemptively. Technically, that was a 3v4 scenario that would have been heavily in TODAK's favor. But as we look at the gold, 900 compared to 459. What is Dreams doing different?
Dreams has doubled the passive gold of Rasi. And we were wondering if this Matilda would actually be able to open up the map safely. It turns out you learn something new every day.
Now, as we see them play out, Lolios has to be careful. One wrong move, and Rasi jumps on him. Lolios still has access to his Flicker. He also has access to Dreams, but we don't see until we see Favor unlocked. Oh, hold on.
Syed gonna collide from the flank. Stome in some trouble. Picks up Syed, throws him away. Untitled, not looking for a fight here.
They don't want that fight. They know it's a bad position to be in. Beret sniffing out for that blood.
Min does some good chunk damage to Zyme Senpoi. Drops him to 30% HP actually. The Kimi gonna need to back this off.
Man, so many resets we're seeing. They keep having to reset time and time again from either side. The score, 1.1k. An almost negligible difference here between these powerful squads.
Next turtle has spawned. Both teams are here looking for the Lord Dance. Raging Sandstorm collects with Zyme Senpoi. Rasi looking for the 1v1 kill. Meanwhile, in the fight in front, Zaman Force has been popped. Zayed steals the turtle away despite the heavy spin. Skyzed forced the flicker out as well. Untitled on the defensive. Demon trying to set up another one. Fondir with the time backwards. Picks off Skyzed, lands a two-man stun, and gets pulled out with the guiding winds.
And now they can finally breathe. These fights so brawly between these squads. They're looking for blood. They're looking for the throat. Overall, TODAK is still within the lead and honestly are walking away with a little more than Untitled. This might just be the turnaround game that they were looking for. Right now, what we need is to see Keemin really affect everybody with the heavy spin, whether it's pushing pushing Lolios off of that Zaman Force, whether it's creating space so that Siska as well as Kage can get in. Oh no!
Got found in the bush. That's unfortunate. Vengeance not gonna save you against 4 people. Fondir with the killing spree.
Instant pop there. Absolutely instant. Didn't have to wait for it a second longer before it occurred. Top side, eventually that tier 1. As you can see, Untitled was trying to cut off certain spaces of the map, but it just oh, okay, had to commit the ult. He also got his buddy out. They're at a net positive when it comes down to benefits.
The rotation speed of the Matilda Baxia combination really messing with Untitled right now. They're being forced to use resources outside of fights just to keep themselves alive. And that is not what you want to see with a Khalid Rome and CC EXP. They should have more control than this.
No. As we see the control slipping away. D2's under threat. Bottom side, Fondir is doing well against Siska with his 1-level lead. And Rasi, again, this is where we're expecting all the early game heroes to start to fall off, whether it be Keemin, Rasi, or even Siska. Now it's all about the raw scaling. So far, oh, okay. Keemin walks away for free. So you can see both supports alongside their marksmen have the exact same idea.
And they want to be active on the map. We can see Lolil really hitting hard already. This is a hero he has a lot of confidence in, and this time he was actually given the space to scale up. Look at the damage on Rasi. He can no longer join the fight. Fondir gonna check the tri-bush. Lord down to 60%. TODAK still in control. Dreams in some trouble. Is able to guiding winds out, but Rasti now has to use that quicksand guard. Uh-oh. Lalil maybe went a bit too far with the Summon Force, but he's got so much mobility. Flicker comes out, escapes from everything. The Raging Sandstorm is dodged as well. Dreams creating so much attention. Rasti goes down. TODAK now looking to flip the script. Untitled down a man. They can no longer continue, but TODAK not letting them escape. Bomdir with the bravest fighter in the dark line, flickers on the storm, looking for it. Cisco pops the vengeance, but cannot survive. It's Sky Piercer stack once again for Zyme Senpai. TODAK are running over their opponents. It's the return of the Langar.
Pretty good. Came in. He's thinking about it. He's walking up. Sky said he's got charges, but no Death Sonata. Not get in onto the pit, so they decide to give it up. Wait, is Akai in the middle of a fight? Oh no.
Oh, Heavy Spin comes out, pins Fondir against the wall, but you are alone here, Kevin. There is no one to help you. Raging Sandstorm connects, but Rasti's not able to do anything with it. They just don't have the damage. It's a double kill for Zyme Senpai.
And now they're looking for the T2. The momentum has not stopped from the 9th minute of the game. They just keep on fighting. The current score at 11-2. A whopping score for TODAK in terms of just raw kills. And now with the Lord on their hand, oh, their sieging might be a little hard. They don't have any artillery fire to kind of bypass the turret lines and force them away from that position.
Things are looking a little bleak now. We're 11 minutes in. It's a 7k goal lead for TODAK. Definitely looking a lot smoother than before. They found their groove, but Lolil also been found. Raging Sandstorm dodged again. Rousey has not been able to land these. Really good reaction time is in. Now the Correction pulls to punish him in return. It's a mega kill for Zyme Senpai.
Oh, and now locked inside their base. The impending doom starts to set in for Untitled. They will lose another Holy Shield, and that means his Lord is going to be charging straight into its next target.
We still have the holy defenses on Untitled, but TODAK looking very, very strong right now. They're trying to push straight in. Zaman Force comes out. Storm has to just back it off. Rasi, 3 seconds away from respawning, but the top inhibitor is already gone, and there's not much Untitled can do about it.
They just back away, back off, and back away. You got what you needed. 2 inhibitors are gone. 90 more seconds is nothing to you. It's just 130 seconds. Oh, hold on.
They found Kevin. Here comes another Bravest Fighter. Landshaker will be dodged this time. But you can see TODAK looking a lot more confident.
They know how to play from positions where they're clearly ahead. They've shown they have a little bit of clutch factor of their own. But about 70 more seconds, we're really going to find out whether that's going to be enough.
The snowball becoming more and more evident. 9,000 gold advantage for TODAK in the 12-minute mark. Lalil, 1 item nearly complete with the full build, and everyone else looking pretty healthy there as well. Landshaker actually finds him in this time. Untitled are forced to stay in their walls.
Yeah, no point really going out, right? What are you contesting for? Just neutral creeps? The payoff just isn't worthwhile for the time being. 36 more seconds until we finally get that turtle fight that we've all been waiting for. And Untitled, based on their positioning, right, want to have a better spread towards the pit that it's going to spawn in.
At pit, going to be the top half of the map. Right now we can see the waves pushing slowly in favor of TODAK across the map. And they're purposefully letting them slow push as well, which means that Untitled gonna need to spend time dealing with all of those individually, making it that much more difficult for them to actually contest the Lord.
Well, speaking of which, at least Lolios was able to... get everything that he needs at this point, right? He's still running a near perfect game, right? 1-0-7. Hasn't died in a single one of these interactions against UN. But I think that at this point, yeah, should they be the ones holding it? I feel like they shouldn't.
TODAK in full control. Untitled, they want to contest, but there's just no angle of entry. Really wishing this was broken wall for them right now, but Zayed gets the Lord for free. We might be looking at the end game.
Oh, as we see the final items start rolling in for everybody. The Lord already finished. We wait a little bit longer. There we go. At 14-13, you're signaled when the Lord is going to be walking out of your base. It's a difficult spot, especially since Untitled are in the checkmate angle. They're not even in close enough to the extra 8k they need to push it up to 42, and that almost guarantees them all 3 of the core items.
And even then, TODAK probably scales better, all things considered. Well, here comes the Lord. Circling Eagle comes out, gets one knockout, forces Siska back. Untitled is able to clear the mid-minion wave, but the bottom tower might not be as lucky. Fondir zones out Stone, forces out the ultimate. Untitled will be able to deal with the Lord for now, but they've lost 2 base turrets in exchange. And doesn't look like TODAK is interested in letting up the pressure just yet. They're pushing in. Practice Pulse misses. Heemin and Siska outside the base, trying to pull the minions away. They will successfully do so. But here comes another one. Bravest Fighter again. Landshaker gonna flicker forward. Raging Sandstorm doesn't find anything. But heavy spin pushing TODAK back. Unfortunately not able to find the pin. Heemin in a lot of trouble. He has to get back to base. Will be able to do so. Untitled slowly whittling down their opponents, but TODAK still so far ahead. And they are unfazed.
Well, unfazed, very happy with themselves as they back away. 85 seconds left for the next turtle. Oh man, I think that games I'm like Alantan, they're showing at the very least that they're not just tunnel vision at times, right? They are looking at the overall map spectrum, and the way that they've set up their waves has always been decently good. But I think at this point, considering that TODAK throw Fondir really far out, assuming anybody lands some form of CC, the follow-up just shows that the natural chemistry from them can be worked upon, but so far so good.
So far so good indeed. At this rate, it really is only a matter of time before TODAK closes out the game and claims their first series of the season. And at a 9k gold lead still, it's going to be very, very difficult for Untitled to make up this difference, especially since most of their scaling damage comes from one person. But TODAK still has to properly respect their opponents.
10 assists, 0 assists, 56.1k compared to 88.7k when we're talking about damage taken, and kill participation 91.7 to 100%. Both of these players coming from the same region, they know what they know what each other are thinking. More so, it's getting underneath that skin as soon as possible. Now with Zyme Senpoi with a Divine Glaive already purchased, he's gonna start things off, and he can actually sustain through the Lord's damage for now. But notice that Zayed also doesn't necessarily want to be inside the pit.
He knows that he is gonna be the safest front line. He can let his team whittle down the Lord and just stand in front to make sure that Untitled isn't allowed to get anywhere nearby. Not to mention that by not standing in the pit, Zayed makes sure that he's not vulnerable to getting pinned with heavy spin either.
Yeah, but they need 2 members here, and I think they figured it out. Yeah, now that they showed, it's a full rush.
TODAK still taking it slow. Guiding Winds providing a lot of shield. Circling Eagle comes out. Heemin gonna be the main target. Forced to back off. Zaym looking to chase him. Heemin will fall. It's an unstoppable streak for the Kimmy. Zaman Force comes out as well. Untitled is completely scattered. And they are dropping one by one. Lolil finds another. And gonna be pulled over to Rasi as well. Dream's working super well with his gold laner right now. Just to continue feeding more and more kills into their carry. It's a monster kill for Zyme Senpoi. 2 members of Untitled left, and TODAK say, we do not need the Lord anymore. 2 lanes of minions pushing in top and bottom sides. Storm and Skyzed trying their best to clear as much as possible, but they are up against 5 members of the Swordfishers. TODAK reclaim their legacy and take their first series victory of Season 16.
And you can see the cries of a joy. For the few TODAK fans who showed up, the dedicated ones, the real ones, they're back at it, 2-1 against Untitled. Small mistakes started to compound upon itself. TODAK's investment so early on, and now 2-1 against Untitled.
It's good to see that sometimes the classics are still the most effective. The Matilda-Baxia combo, not something we've seen in a while, but perfectly suited for this kind of map that requires vision control. And unfortunately, the Khalid Rome not able to get off the ground, so Rasi basically a non-player for most of the game.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It always happens every once in a while, but you gotta stay aware. You got to be able to provide some kind of value to your team, whether it be vision, and it's actually in your favor that you don't necessarily need to interact with your opponent to still stay relevant and keep equal in terms of raw economy. With that being said, though, it looks like Rose is already ready on the stage. We've got two special guests to talk to. Let's find out.
Kemenangan pertama untuk TODAK musim ini. 2 berbalas 1. And nampaknya ramai orang happy atas kemenangan ini. First of all, guys, congratulations.
Makasih.
Minggu lepas, Rose interview Coach Nafari di backstage and nampaknya dia sedih. Tapi hari ini senyum,
Senyumnya di akhir. Awalnya stres juga sebenarnya.
Okay, now kita borak pasal awalnya stres. Apa yang terjadi di game pertama sampai kalah macam tu?
Di game pertama kalah, mungkin dari cara setup kita masih mainnya kurang tenang, di mana sebenarnya kita punya hero control yang cukup bagus juga untuk masalah objektif, tapi nggak terjadi yang sesuai kita plan.
Okay, tak terjadi apa yang diorang plan, tapi nampaknya di game kedua diorang dapat actually comeback momentum. Now, pasal momentum game kedua, Rose nak tanya Dreams actually. So, di early game kedua tu nampak shaky sikit lah daripada side TODAK. Macam mana korang dapat reset in game?
Gara-gara kurang disiplin aja sih di early game. Kurang sabar lah di early-nya. Cara resetnya ya udah fokus di game aja, gak usah mikirin yang kayak mistake di awal, ya udah biarin aja.
Disiplin, jangan terlalu overextend sampai dapat momentum lah kan untuk comeback. Now, Dreams, Rose dengar cerita that actually Dreams adalah shot caller game. So, dengar cerita minggu pertama shot call agak kurang, komunikasi agak terlalu jelas. So, apa yang Dreams buat untuk ensure that komunikasi dalam game minggu ni dah on point?
Dari latihan sih kayak biasa aja, kayak lebih bersuara lebih banyak lah, kayak lebih tegas gitu.
Nampaklah hasil dia. And of course, Dreams, di patch baru ni, kita boleh nampak that actually Roma adalah sangat-sangat penting lah kan?
Ya, sangat
so,
penting.
Dreams suka ke? Suka. And of course, since it's pro tank and dengar daripada Zon awal tadi that kita boleh nampak banyak hero pelik-pelik di Rome. So, you akan bawa ke pelik-pelik juga?
Nanti tergantung Coach Nafari.
Coach?
Ya.
Will we see on Order?
GSS ROM dan Aldos ROM.
Wow! Okay, I dah tak sabar ni, Coach. And of course, Coach, pendapat Coach pasal patch baru ni?
Saya sangat-sangat suka. Karena kompleksitas gamenya jadi makin tinggi, di mana ROM pun sekarang ada banyak cara untuk mendapatkan gold dan EXP. Dan kita harus adapt di 4 map, di mana setiap map mungkin punya ciri khas gameplaynya masing-masing. Jadi patch ini mungkin bisa dibilang patch terbaik di Mobile Legends.
Wow, patch terbaik di Mobile Legends. So, I think this is a good step untuk TODAK moving forward. And of course, game 2-1, tapi hanya satu yang boleh jadi MVP of the game. So with that, mari kita tengok MVP of the game in 3, 2, 1. MVP jatuh kepada Dreams. Okay, Dreams. Now, Rose, senang je. Map mana Dreams punya favourite?
Broken Walls.
Kenapa Broken Walls game pertama kalah? Kenapa?
Kurang disiplin.
Kurang disiplin. Okay, kenapa you suka Broken Walls?
Suka, karena bisa jalan-jalan kemana-mana kan, temboknya bolong-bolong.
And dia pun rotation lagi laju lah kan kalau Rose boleh nampak?
Ya, lebih laju.
Paling tak nak main di MPL? Map yang you paling tak nak main di MPL?
Yang paling gak suka, yang apa? Bush.
Oh, Bush.
Yang tadi ya. Danger Grass.
Oh, Dangerous Grass. Dia tak nak main tapi diorang menang. Okay, I like that. You know what? Is there anything yang Dreams nak cakap kepada fans TODAK sebelum we wrap up?
Untuk fans TODAK, terima kasih yang udah selalu ngedukung TODAK. Doain bahwa kita bakalan bisa selalu berprogres. Doain bahwa kita bisa menuju ke M Series season ini. Kita bakalan selalu ngelakuin yang terbaik. Jadi special thanks untuk semua fans TODAK, oke? Siapa kita? TODAK! Siapa kita? TODAK! Siapa kita? TODAK! TODAK! Langgar! Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach Nafari dan juga Dreams. You guys may now go celebrate your victory. tadi I cakap dengan dia, Coach, boleh ke celebrate hari ni? Dia cakap, esok boleh. I cakap, tak nak cheer juga hari ni. And nampaknya kita dapat hasil lah. And of course guys, kalau korang suka tengok map baru and korang nak tahu lebih pasal map ni, jangan terlepas untuk menonton Grand Final Raja Map di hujung rancangan esok. Tiket untuk masuk dikira dengan pembelian mana-mana tiket untuk perlawanan hari kedua, minggu kedua. Jadi kalau korang ada beli tiket untuk hari kedua ataupun esok, korang automatically layak untuk dapat nonton secara live. Selain itu, korang boleh scan QR code juga sekarang dan buat ramalan siapa yang akan jadi juara Raja Map sebelum 19 September pukul 11 malam. Manalah tahu korang boleh menang hadiah yang menarik. And of course, to check more details, korang boleh visit the official website of MPL Malaysia. Dan itu sahaja untuk match kedua hari ini. Tanpa membuang masa, mari kita throw it back to the casters to dissect apa yang terjadi dalam full series ini. Casters, back to you guys.
Thanks, bros. Our MVP of the game going over to Dreams this time around. A 2-1 series with TODAK winning it at the very end. Hey, who would have known, man? The coach has quite the booming voice of TODAK.
And maybe he needs to come up here and become a caster too.
Yeah, what are we
that
doing?
Would be fun.
Holy cow, I wasn't expecting it. I could hear him even without the mic, and I'm the one wearing soundproof headsets.
It's impressive for sure, but even more so impressive is this victory. I gotta say, I did not give TODAK enough props. I expected this to be a pretty simple game for Untitled, but turns out there is still much to consider. And Dreams, the linchpin of many games here, both on this Matilda and then previously on that Franco. This game especially was creating so much space, buying so much time, and really repositioning the fights excellently with that guiding wind.
It truly is. I mean, the guiding wind's just a homing missile drone that you don't want to deal with, especially if you're one of the squishies and they bring in some of the bigger, beefier boys. But at the end of the day, it's about how much ground can they take and how much will Untitled respect the decision, right? Because really, it's kind of up to Untitled to decide, I need to back up here before taking this fight, or at the very least disengage off of the initial engagement from the Circling Eagle to then re-engaging. TODAK, on the other hand, as soon as they get that decision from Untitled's side, they can easily adapt. They have more free flow.
Yeah, the free flow is the real kicker here, because Untitled doesn't have a bad draft on paper, and having heroes like CC and Akai and Zusin should allow them to really slow down fights, right? And take control of scrappy positioning. But with Matilda around, it's just no holds barred. You will no longer have control of how you want to position, of who is the one starting the fight. SkyZ, uncharacteristically unable to find any positioning from which to do damage, and he's really the only source they have.
Yeah, he is the only source, but I think a couple of other factors. Siska not getting as much value. Every single neutral objective, he ends up dying anyways, while Fonder gets stronger and stronger. That put more emphasis on Untitled to actually give up the space rather than try and take it back. And not to mention, like you mentioned earlier within the broadcast, Kimin on this Akai, especially when you're playing in a map that is playing in a map where it's difficult to check every single push. There's almost no guarantee of you to feel safe when there's so many potential quote-unquote stuns that could be thrown at you.
And that's why they tried going tank jungler in the first place, but I don't think the rest of the composition was really the best build to follow up on it. And we can see here Lolil returning to a place of glory, Rich Guy and the carry on his signature Harif. His GPM was a little on the slower side, but that's particularly because he was participating in most of the team fights and getting gold through kills and assists. Dreams as the best wingman and Kimin as the sandbag.
Truly a little bit of a different side of TODAK that we got to see compared to last week. Much better, more refined at the very least, but they pulled themselves back together after a devastating